Pleasure to speak again.
My pleasure, always.
You called me, we spoke yesterday, and when they started raiding the homes of a lot of your supporters, I think it was about 30 of them. So I got woken up to that news. We speak and we decide to do an interview. You said to me you're ready to do an interview audio only. You were at the doctor's. I'm like, let's do it in 2 hours video.
Exactly.
And you agree. And then about half an hour later, you call me and you tell me, Mario, I'm on the streets. I'm being arrested.
Exactly.
Can you please tell us more about that day? It's a pretty dramatic day for you and for all your supporters.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mario. So, yes, indeed, just I was communicating with you when I was to my doctor for my knees. And, of course, after that everything was relaxed. I left the clinic in the next 30 minutes. Just I was in the car, in the traffic for the next meeting. Actually, by the way, I was in my way in order to sign my file for the new elections for the presidency. And in the next 5 minutes, the police, the prosecutors, all the infrastructure of the law forces, they surround me, and they stop the car, check the driver, and of course after that they are coming to me, and they said this is the execute order from the court, and you are arrested, and you have to go with us. And I said, it's an execution. They said yes, and I said, okay, I don't move one finger before my lawyer to speak with him. I spoke with my lawyer. He said, okay, go there, and I shall come immediately to you. So actually, they took me in their car, and so actually I left my car. I was in their car, and with this car I was to the court, and I spent with my lawyers almost plus minus, Mario, almost 5-6 hours. The beauty of the point is that when I arrived there, there were, of course, a lot of media and few people. And when I was in the room for the conversation with the police and all the stuff, I hear the mass, the voice of the people, which actually they were probably few hundreds, which immediately they arrive, was masses, how I can say,
protests.
People, yeah, protest on that.
As soon as you were arrested, it went viral all over social media, and
exactly.
Not only in Romania, around the world. You've had people rally from people that have interviewed you, like Alex Jones, like Sean, like Ian Miles, even Posobiec. The list goes on. All these different people, and obviously myself, were just posting online, shocked at what we're seeing. And that went really viral, and immediately we saw thousands of people. I think it's at the police station.
Yeah, so you are right. I mean, was viral everywhere, all right, not only in Romania. And again, the beauty was that the people on the street, they asked for freedom. They asked to leave me out. So, this is how I can say, beside what the regime did, but it's a massive wake up of the consciousness of the power to know who we are, and we fight for our democracy and our freedom. And this is the most important value, Mario. I think any step or every step which the system or the deep state is doing, we are more faster, more powerful, and more dynamic in what we want to do. And we recognize us, we are the people, we are the power, we are Romania. It's a precedent in a positive manner to everybody, to the whole world, in a sense that we are the people. And this is very important point. And by the way, here I think, Mario, if you allow me, it's an important message for President Trump and for Vice President Vance, that we recognize United States as the flag of the democracy. Because only this flag of democracy give and receive from the United States the respect for the whole world, the democracy, the flag of democracy. So my message, particularly from yesterday, is in one country, accidentally, whatever, okay, coup d'etat, whatever is happened, the democracy is failed, the United States is failed, because United States has to protect this flag. Is, you know, it is absolutely, obviously, is the most important point, because U.S. is the true symbol of democracy, and this is recognized by everybody. So with this occasion, I definitely ask President Trump to take care about the situation, to understand that here we don't play games, and we are the people. It's a deep state, and it's a moment to have this partnership, which is realized only by one word: freedom. And this freedom have to be protected by us, but also by United States and by everybody. This doesn't mean humanity, Mario. And here we are, because otherwise we are losing the humanity from us. And for this reason, I very much appreciate your involvement, your people, the network, which right now, exactly as you said, probably is spread everywhere, this information. Everybody knows what's happened. I mean, it's absolutely, how I can say to you, it's incredible. We come back to the years of 50, to the Soviet Union, you know, I mean, which it's disappeared. We know disappeared on the paper probably, because in Romania it still exists. The communist regime, it's a show. It's exposed. The communist regime was exposed together with the corruption. So it's not only the corruption, it's not only the deep state, it's the communist regime. So this doesn't mean that democracy was just a makeup. And we are now in front of the reality. And believe me, Mario, as you asked me many times, I'm happy that those guys on December 6th, the last year, they canceled the election. Of course, illegally and unconstitutionally act, but was good, because with this situation, we expose the corruption and the system, which is fantastic. Because otherwise, you know, in a few days, probably I should be the president of the country, but I didn't know all these deep things, which now becomes reality.
I think sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
It reminds me of 2016. They made the same mistakes. They used lawfare against President Trump. They've used the media against President Trump. They've tried using lies against him. You know, some would say they've even tried to take his life. But what that did is that awoken people about how broken the system is in the US. And the US is still way ahead of Romania. I think I'm still a believer in US democracy, especially now, but even last year, and in the American legal system, and democracy ended up prevailing. In Romania, obviously, it's a lot more further down that path. But it did show Romanians how flawed the system is. It showed the world how flawed the system is.
The world, exactly. Yeah.
I do want to go back to the charges. So what are their charges? I was going through them before this interview, and they just sound, again, like I said last time, it's just very silly charges. Consistent pro-legionary ideology, connections to neo-legionary promoters. Is that correct? Intent to normalize legionarism.
Yeah, based on the situation and on my lawyers, I'm not allowed to discuss about this stuff. Of course, my lawyers and my household lawyers, they are ready to discuss anything about this subject. But for me, of course, I can understand this point. But my only point, dear Mario, is, generally speaking, why they didn't come with this during the December the last year. Why now? After one moment, after 2 months.
What's your answer? Why? What would you say?
Yeah. So everything is absolutely is a nonsense.
Planned. Is it planned?
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, that I have seen that everything was calculated, everything was a plan. I mean, it was nothing that we ask. Okay, in my case, we asked Călin Georgescun about the situation. No, everything was a plan. Everything was calculated before. You know. So
Did you know? Did you expect to be arrested when we spoke on the phone that day? Did you expect that you could be arrested?
No, I just, you know, a flash, you know, immediately, just stop in the traffic. So and they arrest me immediately. So this was, so it's you know, the deep state is so strong in this particular manner of activity, in this type of activity, that remember to us and to our parents and to our grandfathers about the old regime, as I said to you. So it is absolutely clear that in the middle of Europe we discuss about communist regime, and for this reason, of course, doesn't exist democracy. Democracy was just on the paper.
And you did put out a statement. What is your next step now? You put out a statement that there's going to be a march on March 1st?
For sure, on March 1st, which is Saturday, I shall be together with the Romanian people on the street in order to, of course, to fight for our freedom and for our democracy. Most probably, of course, they will support me for the new elections. But beside that, these are the most important pillars: democracy and freedom. And we expect a large number of people, and also together with two important patriots, political parties, AUR and POT, you know very well, yeah. So I shall be with them, and also with other non-parliamentarian parties, with a lot of people, and of course we don't give up. And as I said to you, all these type of activities make us stronger and more powerful, and foster our dignity in order to fight for these pillars as democracy and freedom.
Călin, I want to explain to the audience exactly what happened, because we've discussed this a few weeks ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And you told me this will happen. You told me what they'll do is they raided two, I think, homes of two of your colleagues, your campaign manager and one of your friends.
Yeah, it's true.
And you said, Mario, they're going to raid more people. But one thing that we weren't sure was going to happen was that they will actually go all the way and arrest you. But I know that was on the back of your mind. How would you compare the actions yesterday relative to, the best case and worst case scenarios you were thinking about 2 weeks ago when we spoke?
Honestly speaking, I suspect it to be happen. And I'm not surprised. I was not surprised, by the way. Just I inform you immediately, of course. And again, thank you very much for everything you made and you are doing for the spirit of democracy and freedom, not only for Romania. So it's important that we have to understand that the deep state it's already failed. It's not yet recognized, but it's failed. And it's just a matter of time to be happen, Mario. For Saturday, we need people to come out and show support for the spirit of freedom. For the freedom for what the massive and the fabulous speech of Kennedy, you remember, in the 70s,
of course,
was made around the world as where we are, what we have to do as humanity, the spirit to be free. You are born free. I mean, you cannot be, arrested because you are born free. Huh? So this is a spirit for what we have to pronounce our words and our sentence on Saturday. And for sure, we shall continue until the moment when we arrive to the final objective, which does mean we are free in a free country, and we are sovereign. Our sovereignty depends about us, not about others. We don't want to be slaves, but looks that the slaves in Romania are together. They respect the orders from Brussels, particularly, and looks that what is the situation in the European Union and the situation in Europe, which they start already. Mario, probably you have seen, even in Bucharest, some from legacy media, they start to against President Trump and Vice President Vance, which is amazing. I mean, it's something which, believe me, I cannot realize that so high corruption can be, that they are so disparate in order to say to President Trump and Vice President Vance they are pro-Russian or whatever they are saying. Yeah.
They're saying this is how stupid it's become. They're saying that you're pro-Russian, yet you're the one defending the President of the United States. You're the one defending the US and the Vice President.
Exactly.
And they're the ones attacking the US. But
exactly.
You're the one that's pro-Russian. It's become so stupid. And I've also noticed how stupid it was, how they fabricate things. One of the journalists says, just starts making random allegations about anyone that supports you, including myself. They start making up random allegations with no evidence and just start to spread it. It's at a level of desperation where they're just going to throw whatever they can and see what sticks. But it doesn't seem that much is sticking, according to the response in Romania and around the world. But I do have a more sinister question for you, Călin.
Please.
Look how far we've gone. Now, again, we were sitting in the house of your friend in the last interview 2 weeks ago because that's where you felt safe. And yesterday you were under arrest. I'm sure there are times where you sit back and think, is this really worth it? And do you worry for your life?
Dear Mario, look how is for the truth. You can be killed, but never failed. Never give up. So this situation definitely foster us that we are the people. We are in the moment for a big shift. We are in the moment to don't give up, because our antecessors, they pay with their blood that me and my people to be together on the street to fight for democracy. We cannot accept to be slaves. So whatever is happen, I don't care, because we trust in God. We trust in our land. And who is fighting for God and for his own people never ever will not fail. Okay? So we are determined and we are convinced that we shall succeed. And of course, honestly speaking, I'm waiting a hand and the support from the top of democracy in the world, which is United States.
Talking about the US, we've seen the Tates have left Romania today, which is positive news when it comes to the lawfare that we're seeing in Romania, and at least a move in the right direction. Yeah. So it's just a bit of a dichotomy here, because yesterday you were arrested, so we're seeing lawfare in action and democracy at threat, and today we saw the opposite, where American pressure potentially played a key role in having the Tates on their way to Florida, probably landing there any minute now. What was your first thought when that happened, and what are your comments on the Tates having left Romania to the US?
I hear about that, and of course, as the first instinct is to say, from one side, the glass is half full and half is empty. So I'm looking for the half full, and of course, hopefully to be all the glass full in one moment. And I continue to be convinced that even this just happen, even this small event, but quite big in a sense, can be a step forward for what will be next for our democracy and freedom. I don't know too many things and too many details about the brother state, but be sure that I shall know more in the next period of time. Of course, we have to take care about our people, but your point was very clear that it's a step forward.
And the last thing I'd say is that, and you said it earlier, it's no longer political. I don't care what your beliefs are. I don't care what your policy is. I shouldn't care. It's none of my business to care. I care about democracy and freedom. Romanians voted for you to be president. That's their choice. Not America's choice, not Russia's choice, not the EU's choice, it's Romania's choice. And they voted for you to be president.
Exactly.
And what we're seeing from the outside is the democratically elected president is being cancelled, is being jailed, is being targeted along with the supporters. That's a threat to democracy and freedom in Romania and across the EU and potentially the world. So when people ask me why am I interested in what's happening in Romania, I've made it very clear. Thierry Breton made it clear for us. He said it himself. What we did in Romania, what happened in Romania, we may need to do in Germany. Thierry Breton, former EU commissioner, said it himself. If that's not enough of a wake-up call for people on why they should care, I don't know what is. And I think you'd echo the same thing. This is no longer political. It is about freedom. We've seen a lot of your rivals. We've seen our mutual friend, George Simeon, who was on the streets yesterday supporting you from the AUR party, who came in close second in the presidential election and now supporting you. We've seen even other rivals of yours come in support against the targeting that you're going through. So I just want to make that point, and I want to give you the mic as a final message to the rest of the world. Why do you think they should care about what's happening in Romania, and what can people outside of Romania do, and what can people inside Romania do to hopefully go back to democracy?
We are people, as human beings. We have one precious gold called dignity. The dignity of the human being is the most precious value. I wish to share this value and to spread everywhere in the whole world. Not only particularly with the United States, but special with the United States to do that, as Vice President Vance said once. However, the most important part is that we have to understand for these examples that could be a precedent, very dangerous, which can destroy everything which from thousand and thousand years the humanity built so far. So we are in the moment crucial, I can say, in a key moment, then we can express our insight value based on love and cooperation between people and people in order to demonstrate that we receive this planet from God for us in order to respect Him and to respect the consciousness which we have to be here. Thank you.
And Călin, one last thing for people that are targeting you. I'm sure they're watching this. A message for you guys. If you don't realize it yet, you've lost. You've lost. Romanians know you've lost. Other European countries that are trying to do the same thing have lost. We've seen that in the US and we've seen that in different countries around the world. The earlier you embrace this, the less animosity you'll see in Romania. That's my thoughts here. Let's just go back to democracy. If you don't like Călin, you can go back against him in the next election and just go down the democratic path. Otherwise, it will backfire on you as it backfired on the Democrats in the United States. That's my final message. Călin, it's a pleasure to speak to you. Appreciate it. Wish you all the best, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon, and hopefully I'll see you in Romania under better circumstances, sir.
For sure. Thank you very much for your support and for your team and to everybody who's doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Callum.